guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do a fun makeup tutorial look, which is going to be interesting. I've never done a makeup tutorial before, so this will be the first one. Disclaimer, I am not a makeup artist. I am a performer and I do this for stage, so this is a stage look. Yes, this is not my natural beauty. What? But I'll probably give you a couple of hints on how to create, well, I will give you a couple of hints on how to create this kind of look, something a little bit more comical and a way to adjust your face and your proportions. So hopefully you kind of get a couple of tidbits away from this, and I hope you guys like it. I'm so cute. All right, let's get started. What I first do is I don't put any primer on. I find because I use oil-based makeup that I don't need a primer because my face is already naturally oily and I don't want any other products interfering with how that slides on my skin. Sometimes I get a little bit of like texture under my eyes, and I've just found lately that it's easier to avoid that without using any primer. So we're just gonna dive right on in and do our eyes first. So I start by using the Kryolan TV paint stick in Clown White, and we're gonna prime our eyes with that. So yeah, it's very, very white, and we're just going to chuck it on our under eye, on top of our eyebrows. It's kind of like blocking your eyebrows without having to block them, and I do a bit on my nose because I'll get to that later. Nice cleanish sponge, or sponge that I only use on white, and then I'm just gonna go in. It had a little bit of a cream colored foundation on it, but you know what, that's fine. It's just gonna kind of dull it down a little bit. I like using a white highlight under as a base for my eye makeup because it makes the colors that I use pop, and it also means that I can highlight my eyes without ruining my eye makeup, which we'll get to later, so you'll see how we do it. I always start with my eyes because I always worry about fallout as well. So we get a nice even coat on there. I look like a raccoon or a reverse raccoon, really. Raccoons are black, don't they? And so let's start with our eyebrows. You know, frame the face, start framing the face. I get my trusty Kryolan personalized little kit, and I've got all the fun neutral colors that I use for my makeup. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start with this fun kind of brownish color. Reason why we're using that color is it's very close to my wig color. I like to go for a real bold brow, so let's get a nice big, well, not big, it's just a very good angled brush, and we're gonna pop some on our brush and then dive right on in. We'll start under the brow, make a nice arch up. I then go do the end, so I get that nice arch shape that I, quite pointed and exaggerated shape that I like. Kind of, as I said, it's like blocking your brows without having to block your brows. Fill it in. Well, I first outline and then I fill it in. So it's a nice outline. You can always alter it once things are filled in, and once you do your other one too. And we'll just get it in. Once it's all filled in, I like to go in with a slightly darker color, a little bit more neutral, just on the underside. It helps primarily to match my own hairs. I have quite dark eyebrows for a redhead. And also it means I can add a little bit of variant to it, so it looks more natural and not just like a block brow, which is a bit ironic because there's nothing natural about my look. That's pretty nice. Now if you don't like an edge or something, you just go in and touch it up. That's a bit better, a little bit more rounded. Then we can go in. Oh, that's a sick brow. Nice big one today. Every day it changes. I never have the same brow twice. All right, and let's do, voila, 2 eyebrows. Now they're kind of matching, but honestly, I move my face so much. It doesn't matter. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight underneath our brows just to kind of clean them up, but also add that white that I like that makes it really cartoony. So we're gonna use this little pot. It is the HG cream liner from Kryolan, and of course, clown. Oh, it's called Snow. I was excited for another clown white. This stuff, you can see I use a lot of it. It is very empty, and it comes out pretty tough. It's a pretty thick liner. So I always use a little bit of the Kryolan makeup blend just to chuck in there. It kind of makes it more like a face paint, so it's easier to paint on, literally painting. So I just kind of get some in there and I scoop it around, get a nice little layer of paint on my already used angled brush. Yeah, already used. I know we should clean brushes out between everything, but I use the same brush on only one product, so I kind of can get away with it for a little bit. And then we're just going to go underneath our eyebrow all the way along to create a nice clean line. Now, so of course, some of your hairs will pick up the white. That's fine. We'll just go over again with our eyebrow brush to top it all off. But this way, we get a nice clean, I do it on the top sometimes too, just to make a nice edge on that brow. Don't worry about your fingers getting into it. You know, it's your face, do what you want. Let's do this side quickly and precisely. Oh, that was pretty good, quick and precise. It's like when I do my makeup for a show. I don't get distracted talking. Here's the fun extra bit that makes my face my face. We're going to draw white underneath my eyes. And I do a nice big thick line. Some people just do the inner corner. I go for it. I really want to bring my face down a little bit. I've got a very big forehead. So by doing this, it makes my eyes look bigger, more cartoony, but also brings my face a little bit smaller and closer together to be a bit more like a cartoon. So we're just going to go in on the inner corner of the eye, and then we're going to draw a line right under. You're going to kind of find the tip of your eyeball and go right under your waterline. It doesn't have to be neat. This I slap it on and fix it later. And we'll do the other side, just into the waterline, right under the waterline. I used to actually paint the waterline, but I find you get white all over your eyeball and you can't see. So for today, we're just going, it does look better when your waterline is painted, but just for today, it means I can see you guys. Let's pop some epic color onto this. So I am currently using the Morphe palettes. I use two because I kind of like a collection of colors. So that was not the one I want right now. What I want to start with is the Morphe 35B palette. And this one has all of the colors. All of them! I use a lot of purples and pinks and blues and yellows. I use every color. But today we're going to stick within the purple realm with a little yellow highlight. So I'm going to start with this fun purpley pink color. Fluffy brush. That's, again, already been used. Same products. And we're just going to start underneath that highlight line we created. And then we go underneath our eyeball as well. So you'll find that little divot that goes under your eyeball, and we're just going to kind of lightly put some color on in there. All right, same brush. We're going to go in for that darker purple color, and we're just going to start to build into our crease a bit more. So start with a gradient. We work lightly pink, then we're going to go a lot purplier in the end. Start to bring it down into the corner of your nose, and then fill it in. Swapping to the other palette, we're going to use the Morphe 35M. Obviously love 35s. And we've got these fun purple colors down the bottom here. So going to the more fuchsia one, again, check it on the same brush. And we're just going to get that into a bit more of that crease. Kind of creating a faux cut crease today without having to cut it. I'll show you how. last color, the darker purple. This is the last and final color. We're just gonna get that right into the crease. And in the corner of the eye. All right, dust off your brush off a little bit. Just blend it all in. Right, so what we're gonna do is we're going to create that false crease that I was explaining. You're gonna need to get a brush that's pretty dense. This has got the color on it already. And we're gonna use, I use some pigments. Now this is Da Vinci Cosmetics. I got it for free years ago. It's lasted me forever. I'm sure you can find something similar to this. I know that MAC and Sephora and Kryolan all do pigment pots. So this would be handy. I'm gonna use the yellowy one. I love yellow. And you're actually gonna get quite a bit on your brush. So just get quite a, pat it on. Can kind of see how much I'm getting on there. It's a fuck ton. And we're just gonna start patting it onto the eyelid, keeping in the inner corner. Now don't worry if you get it on the lower bit, we can touch it up. And I go about halfway, because that means you get a nice little shine on the top of your lid. Do the other eye, and don't worry about that inner line. We're gonna touch that up with some white liner at the end. Have a good look, make sure that they're even. And yeah, that's kind of a false crease without having to do the full crease thingamajig. All right, now we're gonna do our foundation. So using our clown white that I used before as the highlight, we're gonna contrast that with my normal foundation, which is a very warm, toned, neutral color. I like the warm because it does warms down the white, so it kind of makes it more of a soft clown face. So check that on. I used the clown white to hide any of that fallout we had on before from the eyes. Then we do upper lip, chin, bottom of the cheekbones. Don't get your hair in there. Forehead and the nose again. That is a look. Woohoo! And then with my normal foundation, which is quite a warm one, we're just gonna fill in the gaps. I go pretty heavy. This is stage makeup, so the more you have on, the more the lights are gonna pick it up. The less makeup you have on, the lights will just eat it up and you'll look like you're not wearing anything. Having two sponges, one kind of for your neutral section and one for your clown white. We're just going to blend it all together. You can kind of see that I've already started contouring my face just by using my normal color foundation and my white highlight. Obviously I'm very white. This will kind of cool down a little bit as we add more contour. And I've just kind of filled in my nose. I'm going to use any fallout from the warmer stuff just to do the sides of my nose. I try not to get it on my cheek and I try not to get it on the top of my nose. But this is kind of the beginning of the contouring. To get that, to make my fun little bubble nose. So coming into our darker contouring for our cheekbones and our nose, you're gonna get a cream brush or something that you, this is dirty, but it's only used on the same product. And I use this epic product called Kryolan Grease Paint, and it's in FS35 color. Doesn't know if it means anything. And it's a nice palette. It's really, it is greasy. It's a nice grease paint. And I use quite a warm contour because I have such white highlight. and because my complexion is warm. I know a lot of people go ashy, but that doesn't suit my skin tone. It just makes me look like I have dirt on my face. So this way I can make it look like I've got, you know, a little bit of a warm complexion. So chuck some on your brush, and we're just gonna follow the underline of our cheekbone there, and I do along my jaw, right from the edge, jawline, and then I make a nice heart on my forehead. Now by doing the heart on the forehead, you'll see I have a large forehead, and I'm literally putting it in half. So getting your neutral beauty blender thing, we're going to just dab and create a nice shadow. Just playing around with the paint. It's still wet, so you have a lot of time to kind of morph it into the right shape that you want. I like having really high and quite stark cheekbones, and then hollowing out my cheeks a bit, because I do have a very round face, so I try and change it. All right, now we're gonna contour our noses using the same grease paint and same brush. I do this specifically to my nose because I know how my nose looks and how I don't like it on stage. So I've got a really long septum. I'm just gonna chuck on some grease paint onto the bottom there, and look, ta-da, it's already gone. Woo! And then drawing a very soft line from the eyebrow to the tip. We're just going to pat it out. Yep, I'm going to add a little bit of a penis shape so we get a nice round tippy nose. It's probably a bit much, but that's okay. And today I'm going to add a tiny little circle on the top of my nose. Going back to my cream highlight, we're just going to accent the natural highlight we can see on the tip of our nose. Maybe a little bit along here as well. And just softening it out. Let's powder this baby up. So I use the Kryolan white blending powder. This big motherfucker, I love it. It is white, it goes on white. I like that because it, again, gives you an extra layer for under the stage light, so it holds your greasy makeup in place. There is a transparent one as well if you don't want to go any wider than I do, but I love it. So we're just going to chuck a shit ton on a really fluffy brush and go for it. It's everywhere! It's all over me! I'm breathing it. Alright, so yes, I've gone very, very white now. But that is totally okay. We're gonna add more white is what we're gonna do. So get a tiny fluffy brush, go back to my Kryolan kit. The white, obviously I love white. I've used it a lot. We're gonna get some of that on the brush, and we're just gonna start cleaning up the under eye that we kind of forgot. And this way we can blend the edges of our foundation in with the edges of our eyeshadow color. And we'll probably do a couple of layers of either or just to fix it up. Add a little bit more on the tip of the nose, on the tip of the lips, tip of the chin. And I'm just going to go in with my fluffy purple and just fix that under line. Don't worry too much about that because you are going to kind of hide it with blush, which is what we're going to get to now. So fluffy brush, I use a very kind of apricot-y salmon blushy color. So I could hold it on. Start on your cheek and you're going to work up in an upwards motion. We're using this as contouring. So an upwards motion along our cheekbone and then crazy up along the forehead. Look at that. Making my forehead cut in half even more. So now that we've finished our foundation and our blush, we're going to go back to the eyes, fix them up, and finish them off. So going back to your cream white, but also having the white Kryolan liquid liner on hand, we're just going to touch up that under eye that we have done. And we can fix up all of that yellow that fell out. So just slapping it on. You don't need to be really technical about this because we're going to fix it with the eyeliner and the white eyeliner. Use your nail, get in there, and then with the white, I'm going to just make it a little bit neater on the point. Nice. And so how I told you not to worry about that line on the inside of your cut crease, that's why we're going to create a cut crease with the white. Just creates a little bit of extra highlight. Makes your eyes sparkle. You can always fix it with whatever's left on your yellow brush. That's it. Looks pretty good. All right, now going to our eyeliner. I use the MAC liquid marker tip liner. I know MAC's not a great company, but it is the only liquid liner I found that is thin enough for what I want. And what we're doing is we're going to underline the lower line in kind of a wiggly wave shape. And you see I've gone right underneath my eyeball and then right in the corner making a little wave. It's like a wave. And anything you messed up, you can just kind of double line it with some white. All right, now the cat eye. So we're going to continue that underline. I like that because it makes my eye look bigger, and we're going to just draw a line from that underline out towards the tip of our eyebrow. And then drawing a nice line on top, and then filling that in. And I like to extend that line down and out. And then link it all together. Perfect. And then any touch-ups you need to do of that white, go in with the white liner. I like to do a handy underline of the cat eye with white. It kind of helps clean up the edge, but also add a bit more of a dynamic eye makeup. Cool. So lashes. Because I work at Maison Burlesque, I now wear red cherry lashes. I wear two sets, so one on top and one on the bottom. The one on top I'm wearing today is a Retro Finish. These are all human hair. Bleh. Kind of doesn't, some people get weirded out by it. I don't. And why I like these is that they're super duper fluffy. Can you see how fluffy? They're fluffy. So check those on. Eyelashes! Woo! But we're not done yet. I like to wear a second set. So we're going to put on a Demi Wispy Accent Lash onto our under eye. Now, because we're putting it onto our under eye, we're not going to glue the back of the eyelash like you normally would. You're actually going to glue the top because they're going to go the other way. Hope that makes sense. So taking them out, and I hold the tip of the lash. We get some of that glue, and we're going, I don't know if you can see, it's a very awkward way to hold it, but we're gonna go on the top of the eyelash. Let that dry, then we do the other one. Finding the longer lashes going to the outside, we're gonna stick that on our under eye line so it curves downwards. Lashes, super wispy. And last but not least, let's chuck on some lipper. So I use Lipsense, mainly because it never comes off. And so I know if I'm performing all day, it's gonna take forever. I use two colors to create the Marilyn Monroe look, mulled wine and the blue red plus a glossy color on top. So first, and I know you're not supposed to do it with Lipsense, but I just outline my lips because I overdraw my lips. They're quite little in real life. So. Basic outline is done. Of course, that is going to change once the colors go on. Starting with the darker color, the mulled wine. We're just going to follow that outline. I'm sorry, I just burped. We're just going to follow that outline and fill in the outer corners of our lips. And then with the blue red, keeping the mulled wine on hand, we're just going to fill in the inside and also go on top of the mulled wine to make it more of a red. So you gotta let it dry a little bit. Don't put your lips together because they'll stick. And then with your gloss, you're just gonna tuck that on top. Slap it on. And ta-da! Makeup's done, so time to chuck on that wig, and then the full look is complete. There she is! She's all finished. She's got the wig on. She's tall today, but that's better. The higher the hair, the closer to God. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this. It was my first YouTube tutorial, so yeah. If you want more tutorials, head on to Maison Burlesque. We have the Humble Sequin where you can learn a lot of fun craft projects. I'll also keep uploading a couple of videos onto my Instagram for fan dancing, and I'm sure a couple of more makeup tutorials will happen as well. So comment below if you liked it. Let me know. Comment. Keep commenting. Keep liking. This is only the beginning, I think. So we'll see you all next time. Bye!